So, for you guys who are excited for the parks to reopen, Six Flags just announced new extensive safety measures for reopening the parks. Let me explain. Hey guys, Miguel the annual pass holder here, back with a brand new video here today. So, as I just mentioned, Six Flags just announced extensive new safety measures that they plan to enforce for reopening the parks coming up soon. So, without further ado, to break this just right now for you guys, Six Flags will be opening up Frontier City. That will be the first Six Flags park to reopen up during this time, and that date will be June 5th. So that is really exciting, really awesome. Shout out to them for being able to open up first, and then I'm sure other parks will follow suit therefore after. So this is exciting news, and I can't wait to get back to the parks. And we're about to go over some guidelines for you guys that will display everything that they've announced, and they're showing for what will we be able to expect for reopening. Slash, I'll be able to show you guys what the reservation system looks like, not going forward, but just showing you what the outline will look like and the whole reserve website. So without further ado, guys, let's get into it right now. All right, so first things first, of course, as it says, Six Flags announces extensive new safety measures for reopening the parks. This just came out today at the time of recording, May 26th. So if you scroll down, you get to see kind of what it'll look like for the social distancing, the 6 feet apart. And then also you can see too, as they mentioned, masks will be required to be worn at the park for guests and team members. So we'll dig further into it. So first things first, a big thing that needs to be talked about and mentioned is health screenings for guests and team members. Contactless thermal imaging will be used to screen temperatures of guests and employees. So this one is state of the art. As you can see right here, it's not going to be the hand testing ones. It's going to be a thermal one, as you can see in the video right here. This is, wow, this is crazy. And I thought that Six Flags was going to do like a Universal City Walk in Orlando, how they've done the hand testing ones where they put it to your head and do the temperature test that way. This one will be completely thermal and you just walk through. Pretty incredible. So the next thing will be is that they'll be strictly enforcing social distancing. So of course, as we mentioned and I reported in previous videos, they're going to have easy to identify social distancing markers on the ground for you guys for rides, restrooms, retail locations, and dining as well. Dining tables will be spread out at the park from outside and inside, where they'll be most likely staggered. So maybe one here, one there, and one there, but they will be 6 feet apart. So this is officially confirmed, just like we mentioned before prior, and also how Shanghai Disney has shown in images of them reopening the parks that they will have staggered seating on the roller coasters and rides. Guests will be separated by rows, empty rows. So it'll be front row, nobody in the second row, third row, on forward. It'll be like that for different coasters, rides, and other attractions as well. So this part is really interesting as well. So you know how you have the midway type of games and you can watch people say play basketball, shoot hoops, different things like that. Well, instead of being right there, there will be a viewing window that'll be 6 feet apart. 6-foot viewing areas will be marked for guests to observe gameplay, arcade games, and be reconfigured or deactivated to comply with social distancing requirements. So that's an interesting thing of how that's going to be laid out. I'm not too sure right off the bat. Many people will be playing arcade games and the midway games right now because they require you to touch it, and or I don't know, say with like basketball, I don't know how they're going to soak the balls to sanitize those and whatnot. So I'm not sure how many people will be doing that. But hey, it's put in place as of now for how the viewing window for if you're not playing or you're waiting or you're just trying to view it, there will be the space for you guys to step back a bit to witness it. So interesting. So this part is really interesting, and I was worried about that because, of course, I usually bring a bag where I have my camera equipment and different things with me at the parks. Now, they always would stop you, of course, at majority of parks, and then look through the bag to make sure everything's safe and you don't have any weapons or anything like that. Now, they're going to have touchless systems where you just walk through. So it's advanced security screenings will enable touchless bag checks. So as you guys can see right here, you'll just be able to walk through, and it's a new, of course, state-of-the-art type of bag screening where it can recognize if you have any weapons and you just walk right through. And the security and team members do not have to touch your bags and your stuff, of course, because they always had gloves and they would keep touching your stuff next and then go to the next person. that's not a good thing. So they've thought that all the way through, and they figured out something that's really, really interesting. So capacity at indoor venues will be reduced to meet social distancing requirements, and guest viewing outdoor entertainment will be separated by at least 6 feet. So with the extensive sanitization and disinfecting protocols, so they will have designated people, I guess, on duty that day, that's their only job is to clean. So trained and dedicated cleaning staff will be put in place, increased sanitization and disinfecting of high touch points. So they'll wipe down the doors, just many areas that have a lot of touching. What would be interesting for me, as it mentions, of course, counters, doors, trash cans. I like kind of what Disney did by removing the lids of the trash cans, where you don't have to touch those. They just removed it where you could just throw your trash in. Well, Six Flags kind of is like that in majority of their parks, where they have the standard looking trash cans where you can just put your stuff in. But yes, they'll be cleaning those extensively throughout the day as is. So that's a good thing. Rides, restraints, and handrails will be clean also. It might even be clean throughout each ride. So I've seen some parks that have reopened where they've had people in the front row, the third row, fifth row, and they've done it like that. And then the next time they would clean that, and then they would have people in the second row, fourth row, sixth row, and not in those seats they just clean. So it can air out as the coaster goes around. The next people that are waiting in the queue line will be able to go back on that front row. So that's interesting to see how they'll do it. And or I've seen other parks do it as they've cleaned after each rider use. So, and then they just waited for them to finish, and then they put the people right back in those same spots. So for example, if they clean the first row, third row, and on forward, they would clean it, and then they'd let you sit in it right there after they're done. So ride ups will be a lot slower, so please bear with them. That's definitely understandable because they have to clean and sanitize all these things, all these rides and attractions. So they might be running a lot slower. So just keep that in mind. Of course, restroom staff will be stationed to disinfect each stall and sink area on a frequent basis. That makes a lot of sense. Multiple hand washing and alcohol-based hand sanitizer stations will be located throughout the park. So as I mentioned, that I felt like they should do in previous videos, how Disney did it, that they had hand washing stations. Of course, they had the sanitizer stations that majority of parks did before everything officially shut down, but Disney had the mobile hand washing stations put in place to wash your hands throughout the park. So they will officially be bringing hand washing stations, of course, with the standard hand sanitizer stations still as well. That's awesome. That's really good and helpful. And all team members' work areas will be regularly sanitized and disinfected. So I assume that they're going to switch people out, and also, of course, multiple amounts of changing of gloves and masks and stuff throughout the day in their shifts. So keeping them safe as well. So the next thing is sanitized food preparation and service. Modified menus and, of course, the use of mobile food ordering will be added throughout all the parks. So a lot of these Six Flags parks were rolling out the mobile ordering beforehand. Now, of course, as they reported before, it'll be at all Six Flags parks, the mobile ordering. It'll help with the touchless transactions, so that's a really good thing. So self-service buffets and salad bars will be reconfigured to eliminate guest contact with food. That is highly, highly a good thing, and we don't need people touching multiple ladles and stuff with buffet areas. So that's a good thing. So also, you guys know, with multiple food locations, condiments and self-serve cutlery and napkins will be provided with your meal. So of course, they'll automatically give it to you depending on what your food order is. And also you can ask for more if you do need additionals, but instead of them being on the side and you can just get it yourself, that will be no more, and that's for the better. Face mask will not be required to be worn with your meal, of course, but when you're done and beforehand, you will have to have the face mask on. But when you're ready to eat or drink something, you can take the face mask off. So as far as refill stations at the Six Flags parks, beverages will be served by attendants, and guests will receive any drink bottle refills and a paper cup each. So you'll receive, hey, what drink would you like to have? Oh, you would like to have blue Powerade. An attendant at the park will fill out the plastic cup for you, hand it to you, and then you refill your drink yourself. You will not be able to put your drink underneath the freestyle machines at all. And also, of course, it'll reduce the amount of touching by multiple amount of guests. So dedicated team member will be doing that for you guys from here on out. Of course, it goes on to mention all employees will be issued out team member action packs, which will include safety face masks, glasses, and disposable gloves. gloves. This is interesting that I haven't seen many of these things in the US, at least, is the spray backpacks will be utilized to disinfect large areas. Around the large areas that need to be disinfected, mostly that have high traffic, they'll be used throughout the day to spray, to sanitize, and disinfect the whole theme park. So that's quite interesting. Will be interesting to see. And of course, it goes on to talk about further things with the team members, and queue line supplies, fencing, and tents will be placed to promote safe social distancing as well. That's the new guidelines that Six Flags just announced with their extensive new safety measures for reopening the parks. So we should be getting news in regards to other Six Flags reopening, but it's a good sign that Frontier City has been announced that the whole theme park will officially be opening up June 5th, and the safari aspect of Six Flags Great Adventures will be opening up this weekend. So looks like a good sign of a little bit of a light at the end of the tunnel, if I do say so myself. Guys, the last thing that I wanted to talk about and show you guys is the sixflags.com/reserve site is up. It is not officially running yet. Displaying how it looks, it is now up and running. So it says reserve your visit. Make a reservation. You'll put in your order number, ticket number, or pass ID. After, you'll be able to put in your reservations, which the reservations are not available yet. This will be the steps that you'll have to take in order to fulfill your reservation. So of course, you'll start, put in your ID code and the purchaser's last name. So you'll do that. It'll ask you to choose the dates in which you want to visit the park. Then it'll ask a little bit about you and your party next, as far as how many people will be with you and whatnot. Then, of course, you'll be required, as they mentioned, for you to watch a safety video, and then the health policy guidelines for you to need to go over and scroll and probably click like you agree or something like that. Then the ticket policy, everything that'll go about with the ticket, I'll run through with that, and then you'll confirm it and then finish. That'll be the layout of what the reservation will look like. And of course, it'll look a little bit different, but similar to that with the mobile app as well. Guys, that covers everything that was just announced in the news today, and I wanted to share it with you guys first right here, right now. With that being said, thank you guys so much. Hit that subscribe button if you're new, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Have a thrilling day, guys. So if you enjoyed the video, you can support the channel via Patreon, where we have all new live streams and exclusive content and giveaways that are dedicated to the patrons on the exclusive Miguel the Annual Passholder Patreon page. And also, if you like looking nice, you can support the channel via our merchandise shop at annualpassholder.shop. You can find amazing t-shirts and hoodies, such as this one, that you guys can purchase for the low. And feel free to hit that subscribe button and turn it from red to gray, and like this video if you enjoyed yourself. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much, and have a thrilling day.